Welcome everyone, it's Game Camilla here, back at you with another video. And today it's part 3 of our Master Guide series for Among Us. Again, I'm joined by CosmicCubicle. He is going to break down the Polus map in Among Us. Now, if you haven't, check out our previous 2 videos on Mirror HQ and the Skeld. They're both fully detailed chapter select videos. They will definitely help you achieve master status in Among Us. Now, the Polus map is by far the biggest map in the game so far. It is much bigger than the previous 2 maps. There are a ton of tasks, a lot of variety, but to be honest, Polus might be my favorite map in Among Us. Just because there's a lot of variety, it is fantastic in big groups of 10, having 2 imposters. There's a lot of challenge to it, but there's a lot of fun to it. As before, the video is going to be broken down into chapters. It's going to break down all the tasks. There's going to be a walkthrough, as well as an imposter guide. You'll be able to click through just like normal, either in the description box or on the video itself. But with that said, I'm going to let CosmicCubicle take it from here. And here is the master guide for Polus Outpost, the 3rd map in Among Us.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and we are in the Polus map for Among Us, and we're going to do a walkthrough of both the map and the tasks at the same time this time around. Keep it simplified, keep it condensed. So here we are in the dropship. This is where we start off, and this is probably one of the deadliest places on the Polus map, as when we start off, we get one of our shared tasks right here, which is keys. And if we all stack up to do keys, while I'm pulling this key over and turning it to get the key, I can potentially have up to 10 people stacked with me, and somebody's gonna just wait for their timer and zap! There we go. Group kill. And everybody looks around going, who the fuck? Got no idea. So keep an eye out for that. That's the first thing. Our second task right here is our navigation. Doop, doop, doop. Whoop. Gotta plot our course, take us through, and as we head out south of the dropship, we're come to a T intersection. And over to the left, we have a couple of things going on here. First, we've got one of the vent holes that our imposters can use. And up here, we have the handprint for the seismic stabilization. That has the corresponding one off to the right over here. In order to shut down the seismic stabilization, somebody needs to place their hand on each of those, much like the reactors in the other maps. Alright, moving back to tasks, we have one of my favorite tasks here, which is our nodes. So you'll see that we have a weather node noted down here. I've just loaded all the tasks, so it is a bit messy, but you'll see the weather node is down there. I pull it up. I have to draw with my mouse carefully, because if I go the wrong way, I can't actually back up. I have to let go and restart, but you have to hold down as you do it, because as soon as you let go, it's going to snap back. So you have to be slow and deliberate the first few times, as you're probably not going to be used to it. And there we go. Loads in. Now that I've done it from one of the weather nodes, I actually come over into the laboratory area and come to this chart in the laboratory, and you'll see where it says node_CA. I just flip the switch, and that task is done. Now, since we've come over to the right and we're talking about the lab area, let's go ahead and finish out a couple things in the lab. First off, we have our rocket. Just going to click on each of these, and you'll see how it says repair drill is completed. It says it's a drill. It looks like a rocket to me. Well, it looks like something else. Wink, wink. But, you know, it could be anything. Who knows? Further into the laboratory, we come over, and we've got a couple of things that we're going to do. First off, we're going to log our readings, and we just make the log match the reading. And that's the record temperature. Next up, we have a line scope. Come over to the telescope here. I have to find the object in question by just dragging things around. There's only so many objects that you can find in here. And it's just a matter of finding the particular object. It starts clicking, and there we have it. It turns green as I find it. Then we've only got 2 more tasks in the actual lab area. First one, much like the medbay and Skeld, we're going to hit the button here to find the sample anomaly. So it's called Inspect Sample in medbay. Going to escape out of there. While that's running, it's got 60 seconds. Going to come over to the med scanner like we've done before. Activate the med scanner, let it scan me. Yeah, let's give it some time. And there we have it. Now, I'll point out we have a wiring panel here in the laboratory, just south of the med bay. We also have a wiring panel over here in the laboratory, off to the left, right on top of a vent. So be careful of that. Well, this is the lavatory, not the laboratory, as you can see. Although, I'm kind of curious, are those urinals behind the doors? Like, do they really need doors with urinals? Is that a thing? Who knows? And notice how there's only seems to be... If those are urinals, then what if you need to do number 2? Like, what happens there? I'm really confused. So, we'll come up. We're waiting for the inspect sample. It's done. I just come in here and I pick the anomalous one, and it's taken care of. And then that is the laboratory. We're going to go down into the specimen room. This is the room that everybody seems to get lost getting to. The way we get to it is we come through the laboratory, and we head south instead of going into the actual medical scanner. Activate here. You'll see inside this decontamination chamber, we have a wiring panel that we can do. Again, it does have the color-coded and symbol-coded now ends that we can use. Bada bing, bada boom. I come over to the other door, come all the way down into decom. And yes, this is probably the most likely place to get killed is to go to decom. Here on the wall, we've got a download mechanism. So we'll say to download data. And all of our download data actually gets uploaded in communications on this map for Polus. Next one that we're going to do is the specimen sorting. This one's fairly easy. Matching shapes. Task completed. Then we've got 2 things left. Going to go ahead and just do the numbers in order. And that will be the manifolds. And the reactor startup is going to be 5, 5, 4, 5, 4, 6, 5, 4, 6, 5, 4, 6, 1, 5, 4, 6, 1, 7, 5, 4, 6, 1, 7. And that's all we have to do in the specimen room. Now to get out of here on the other end, we'll head out the left-hand side, winding our way around. Again, a pretty common place to see somebody get ganked if they're off on their own. Come into decom, and we'll come up into the admin room. And we've only got a couple of things going on in admin. First off, we've got our admin table. Fairly common. We can see all the different areas. You'll notice this is a fairly large map with a lot of open field. So keep an eye out for those bodies. And remember, admin will only show you bodies or people inside of actual rooms. So it's only in these dark green rooms that you'll actually see people light up. So keep that in mind. Now down here, there is a vent. So be wary of anybody that comes from this direction here, as they clearly have just vented or have looked for venters. So that's a fairly common place to find somebody. Other than that, there's no real tasks in here other than just our entrance into the lab. Coming up, we go into the hallway here. Again, we've got a wiring panel right outside the office. The office, in fact, here is where we're going to clean up a few things off of our list. Alright, here we are inside of the main meeting area, and office. Not too many tasks here. We will come back for the water canister in a little bit, but we haven't triggered that off yet. Over to the right, we have 3 tasks in here and 1 very critical station. So first talk about the 3 tasks. First, the infamous card swipe. First try, because I'm that awesome. Second, the badge scan. We grab our badge, we flip our badge, and we scan it. Task complete. And a download of data. We'll just wait for that to download here for just a moment. Again, we've got several rooms that have this. We're probably not going to sit here and watch it each time, so just keep in mind that it is there. And the last thing in here that we really want to keep an eye on is vitals. Vitals will show us who is alive and who is dead. You'll see a DC icon for somebody that's died during a previous round, or it will turn red for anybody that's died during the current round prior to a body being found. So if you're watching this and you see somebody go red and immediately there's a reported body, be very cautious of how they describe the scene. For instance, if they describe they just stumbled on the body, then they probably self-reported if it was an immediate death and then report. Or it could be that they're trying to frame somebody by killing in the same room as them. So be wary of both situations, but watching vitals is very critical to winning games when you're on Polus. And with that, we'll step outside. Alright, and we're coming outside here, outside of the office, for our first real outside task other than the weather nodes. And that's going to be to log our temperature readings here. I'm going to open this up here so you can see we need to actually turn up the temperature here. Bada bing, bada boom. Outside, record temperature. Alright, taking a look around, we have another node. Again, I'm going to just kind of trace the path. You can see I can do it fairly quickly. You do want to be cautious of that. We'll come up here and we'll flip the switch again. I'm not going to do every node. I will show where the other ones are, but I don't want to take the time to do every single node because it will take a lot of time away from what we want to do here. So just kind of the tour outside then. So we came out of the office here, hit the node. Over to our left, we get to our storage building. We can actually see in the window here. This is very useful. And as we come in the storage, this is where we get our gas can in order to fuel our engines. So I filled up the engines, and we're going to go do the outside fuel engines task. The first one is going to be right up here. They're actually both going to be near the seismic stabilizers, so fill that one. Have to come all the way back down. Go to the gas can again. Fill it up. And we're going to go back over to the other seismic stabilizer. And it's filled. And that takes care of storage. And we have yet another node here. Again, we can just kind of trace. I can do it fairly quickly because I'm used to it. Though you may need to take more time the first couple times that you do it. We're going to come south. And we're going to see down south is the other entrance into the office. So be wary of that. All the way down here, there is one of our weather nodes, which we've already talked about, as well as our water wheel. I know that's not the technical term here, but we'll just turn this around. This is the open waterways. Let it fill up, and you can see the boiler room open waterways, 1 of 3. There's 2 others. To do that task, we'll actually come across and down over to the boiler room. Again, passing another one of our nodes outside. The boiler room is inside the O2 and electrical building. And it's down to the south. There's 2 more of these in here. And after I give it a couple cranks, I can just let it sit there and fill by itself. You can see if I just do 1 turn, it will fill, but it's very slow, which is also why I Give it several turns because it will fill much faster that way. And then we will grab this jug of water and press and hold the button. So I filled the water. We're going to come back, down and out. We're going to head back over to the office. One of the next parts here. And we're going to replace the water in the office because we need fresh drinking water, even though we're in spacesuits, because, yeah, we can definitely take off these helmets of the spacesuits to get more drinking water. Alright, walking out of the office again. We've got two buildings on our immediate left here that we're going to pay attention to this time. First one being weapons. And come down here into weapons. We've got two tasks that we can do. We can download data, which is right here. We'll just click the download. Takes about 8 seconds, so keep that in mind if you're trying to fake this task, that about 8 seconds is how long it'll take. And then we come over here to shooting things with asteroids, and we'll see if I'm good enough to get $20 for 20 again. There we are. That's how you shoot the asteroids. Remember, if visual tasks are not on, you won't see the other players' asteroids being shot. So keep that in mind. But the guns will fire for your own. And it does make a very gratifying pew, 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 pew sound. Because we all need that in our lives. And then we'll come up here into communications. And we've got two things going on in communications. First one is rebooting our Wi-Fi. So what we're going to do, I'm going to pull this down. And it says, please return in 58 seconds. Alright, while we're doing that, let's go ahead and upload some data. This is where we're going to come to do all of our uploads. It'll in fact ask me to upload multiple times here. And just for my own gratification of turning things green, let's upload more than once. Because why not? We've got a minute to waste. And with that, we're almost done. We've actually only got really 2 rooms that we have to tackle yet. And they're 2 of the more important rooms. They're O2 and electrical. But first, let's reboot. So I have to return in 17 seconds. We're going to sit here and wait for it to come up. Alright, thanks to the magic of editing, we're back. And all we have to do is slide it up. Cycles through. Reboot is complete. There we are. Alright, coming out of communications, we're going to head to the final building, which is the O2 and electrical building. First stop coming in from the south here is our emptying garbage. Just like every other empty garbage, apparently rocks and leaves are the only garbage we have. Surprisingly, we don't have any body parts in there yet. Keyword being yet. I haven't stuffed the bodies in there. I will, don't worry. Down and up, we've got one of the more complicated tasks, it seems, for people to grasp, and that is the O2 canisters. All we do is click and hold on an O2 canister, drag it down, let go, it'll fill, and it'll sit there. And this is what confuses people. What you have to do is you have to click on it and then do it again. And once it does it twice, then the task is done. I get a lot of questions when we play games as to how this task works, even though they're not supposed to talk. They still ask. Over here we have a wiring location that we can use if that happens to be one of our tasks. We've seen that enough times in our videos. Coming over here, the last thing is we're monitoring a tree. The tree needs carbon, nutrients, low levels of radiation, and plenty of water. We just move the bar up to the corresponding line, it goes green, and that completes it. Again, back here we have another download location that we can download into, and be wary of the vent right here. Alright, with that we're going to go north into electrical. We have 2 of the final tasks. We have our wiring panel, our data download panel, and then we have the dreaded lights area where we can fix the wiring or fix the lighting here. It's fairly deadly coming in here, especially with the doors that can close. Coming back up and around, we also have our cameras. Now, cameras here are a bit different than Skell. Instead of having one singular view for all the cameras, we have to cycle through each of the cameras by clicking on these arrows. And the cameras will only light up when somebody is actually actively looking at them. If you want to get edgy with your opponents, what you can do is you can quickly cycle through them and they'll all pretty much stay on full time. Somebody will think that someone's on cameras the whole time. You're not going to really see anything, but it will kind of mess with people. You just kind of get all freaky. But you can see here we're monitoring the north entrance into the electrical building. East monitors the right-hand side of the office. Central monitors the communications tower. Northeast monitors the entrance to the lab. And south monitors the lower entrance into the office. And southwest monitors the lower entrance into electrical and O2. And that concludes our tour of tasks and things that you need to know as a crewmate. Now, our disasters are pretty straightforward in here. We've got our seismic stabilizers that we've already talked about. We've got lighting, and we have communications. Communications being, if we come over here, we'll have to fix it like we do in Skeld right at this location. I don't have it on right now, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Alright everybody, welcome back. I am now the imposter, but then again, you always knew I was always the imposter. Or the imposters have already killed me. If I'm alive after the first 30 seconds, I'm likely the imposter, it seems. Because the smart ones seem to kill me because they don't like me naming them. We can see here, we've got vents again. But in this case, we are back to trifecta vents. So each vent only leads to a couple different locations. So take time in the first game or so, or come in here in your free play mode in order to walk around and check out the vents. I'm not going to go too deep into where they go. We've got maps available that we can link in the description of the video for you. The other thing I want to talk about is the sabotage opportunities here. So we have three main sabotages. We have the lights, we have communications, and we have seismic stabilizers. If I take out the lights, we have to go do a lighting panel and electrical like we've done before. Seismic stabilizers is just the two locations of the stabilizers here that kind of look like upside down bongs or something else that you have to walk over to, and each one of two people, one on each end, have to hold their hand on a panel. Then what we have is communications. If I black out communications, somebody has to come up here and we have to match the wavelengths. So you have to move the dial until it gets fairly clear and it'll go away. That's how you fix communications. Now, a couple of things to talk about when you're the imposter here. Watch for windows here, because we do have buildings with windows. You can see out of them. So if I were to kill this person right now, anybody standing outside could see that I did that. They're able to see in. So like if I walk around outside here, well, I look in, I can see it, but interesting fact, I can't report it from there. I have to actually go inside to report it. So that's a very interesting thing to keep in mind. So watch with your kills there. Next thing is, specimen room is a very obvious kill spot, so be careful with using it. Clicking in here, clicking through. Now, one of the things to note about these doors that we keep going through, sabotage can actually put locks on all of these doors. I'm going to click into. You see kind of how we go through them. Now, once we put locks on them, you have to do a breaker sequence and to get out of them. So in here again is a very common place to do kills. You can see out a little bit here, but there's nothing outside, so you can get away with kills fairly easily in here, as long as nobody is coming in and nobody sees you leave. So be aware of that. So if I come up here and I try and leave, gotta wait for decom. Now, I'll show you what the locked door looks like. If we come over here and I try and exit, you'll see that the door doesn't auto open. Then I have to come in here and I have to switch the breakers on. Well, switch the breakers off, sorry, in order to get into the door. That will apply to both you and the crewmates, so keep that in mind. If you're looking to make a quick getaway, don't go locking all the doors. But keeping the doors locked can slow down the crew's progress throughout the match as well. So keep both of those things in mind. Other than that, there is a conveniently placed vent right near the right stabler, and there's also a conveniently placed vent on the way to the left-hand stabilizer. So you can kill, hop in, and leave. Keep in mind though, we've got this window into electrical, so you don't want to be doing too much right here. You want to be all the way over here before you're doing anything shady. And again, as we said before, one of my other favorites is to kill right at the keys when everybody's stacked up over here. Make sure though, when you hit that everybody's still stacked up, and try and do the report right away too. That will keep people from being able to notice who's moved, and it'll cause a lot of confusion if you can do that right away. Although, as always, make sure you keep changing your tactics so that people don't catch on too quickly to them. I love doing it, but at the same time, I can't do it every game because then people get wise to it. So, that concludes our imposter section.
And there you go. So ends our 3-part series on Among Us, exploring all 3 maps, complete master guide. Again, if you haven't checked out our previous videos, there is a playlist that has all 3, including this one in it. But good news, there is a 4th map coming, and when that does come, we will have a master guide for that as well. Guys, thank you for watching. Again, huge shout out to CosmicCubicle for taking the time to record these videos and doing a full detailed master guide on Among Us major props. Check out his links in the description box below. He is a content creator as well. He's definitely worth checking out. Please subscribe to him. And speaking of subscribing, guys, if you like the videos, if you like the content, please consider subscribing. I usually upload 2 videos a week. We're very Nintendo Switch related, but we also do other games, such as this one. Guys, check out my Twitch channel, check out the Kaiju Club Discord, the links are in the description box below. Thank you for watching, have a wonderful day, and I will catch you next time.